But really, I mean, that's really how all of the characters are developing. It's based on family. It's, as I've been describing in other of these video blogs, is that it's about character. Who are these characters? They aren't just pieces on a game board that I'm shuffling about. They have relationships. They have histories. They have prejudices. These all come into the fore. And that's how I'm trying to really advance the story. Because while you might not save the life of some random stranger, you will save the life of a brother. It's kind of the whole concept of the military. You know, you come in, you're all strangers, but by the time you're out in the field, you're brothers in arms, or sisters in arms, whatever. And the reason they do that is because you're going to fight harder for your brothers than you are for anybody else. And that is the world they're enmeshed in. And enmeshed in is having to look out for each other. You have to trust that the person next to you is going to have your back. So the story is very much about family, character, how you develop, how you change, how events change you. And I'm not making a huge distinction, apparently, between how the humans are developing and the robots and cyborgs. There are differences. They have different points of view. But they're all evolving. They aren't static. Not like a T-800 Terminator without a modified chip. These aren't automatons. These are sentient beings. They adapt. They evolve. They make choices. And as a result, we get some interesting character growth. Some of which I haven't anticipated, but I'm almost as entertained by it as you are. Maybe even more so. It kind of tickles me when they jump away from what I thought they were going to be. So honestly, there were going to be a few scenes in this episode that it just didn't work in this episode. I could have shoehorned them in, but it would have been wrong. It would have been me trying to dictate how the characters were going to behave when it wasn't the right thing for the characters to do. And that's what I say when characters talk to you and they take over. You have to listen. You can't just do it your own way just because you've outlined it that way. You have to be flexible as a writer. Oh, people asked me, when Weaver was with injured John, what did she inject him with? Did she inject him with medicine, or did she inject him with Weaver bits, or what? And I've answered this. And the short answer is she injected him with medicine. Some painkillers, some antibiotics, anti-inflammatories, you know, the stuff that Sarah saved for him. And as she described to Allison, the medicine that was meant to save John when he needed saving. And it isn't all going to be used up. He still has some left. Sarah wasn't going to be stingy when it came to protecting John. Honestly, I had given a little tiny second of thought of maybe Weaver injecting him with Weaver bits, but I really didn't give it serious thought. The reason, as I told some of you, or commented, I don't remember if it was public or private, but the reason I didn't do it was Battlestar Galactica. You know, with Rosalind having died on the table and getting injected with Cylon bits, Cylon blood, from Hera, and then surviving for a time with her cancer. It had been done. And you know me, my refrain is, if it's been done, I kind of don't want to have to do it again. So I like to be kind of unique. Go my own way. Try to catch you off guard and do the unexpected by doing exactly what it looked like she was doing. injecting John with medicine. See, I don't always do an end run around you people. Sometimes what I do is exactly what it looks like. And it does tickle me sometimes that I've gotten you to the point where some of you are guessing pretty good of what I'm planning on doing. Some of you have been scary good. Some of you have been really off. And it is really interesting to see how the two are playing against each other. You're seeing how I think when I'm writing these episodes, but sometimes you're overthinking me. Or sometimes you aren't overthinking me and you've gone exactly in the direction I wanted you to go. I'm not going to lie, I do manipulate you sometimes, deliberately. And it is kind of calculated. But I'm trying to think of ways to do this without giving too much away. I don't do it maliciously. I don't do it so much to go he, but I do it to throw you off the track enough that you aren't going to be able to easily predict where I'm going. I will tell you right now that absolutely nobody has guessed correctly about where I'm going with Brandy. I do know Brandy's history. I've had to balance that a lot. I've argued with myself many weeks ago when I was figuring all of this out. Is Savannah Brandy? Is Savannah not Brandy? And I kept going back and forth because both ways work. They really do. They add different dynamics to the whole thing. But I had to make a choice. And the choice that I have made, even for those of you who've gotten close or touched on it, you haven't really hit it right on the head. And I don't mean getting everything exactly right. You've kind of done a shotgun blast. I told you, I'm tired, I can't talk. With a full spread. So you were bound to get some of it, but you haven't filled in enough of the blanks yet. And that's only fair because I haven't given you an awful lot. I'd be really surprised if you figured it out. I think I've given you some clues about Brandy in terms of Brandy is a character who was seen on Sarah Connor Chronicles. Brandy, when seen on Sarah Connor Chronicles, was human, totally. And she could be Savannah. She might not, but she could. And yeah, it's interesting. You're going to find out soon enough. I'm not going to string you along until the end of the season. The answer for who the heck Brandy is, I almost said it, will be revealed probably before Halloween. Yeah, that sounds about right. Certainly before Thanksgiving, but I think before Halloween. I should probably say that this script series has been the perfect thing for me to write. It's one of the things that makes it easy.